gonna run through the essentials of experimenting with AI assistants like ChatGPT, Claude, or Copilot safely and responsibly. We'll cover the 4 big dimensions of AI risk with practical steps you can start using today. We're also introducing the scope of what you can do to mitigate risks for daily and bigger picture AI for organizations. So here's our little welcome.
Yeah, this is about us. So Align IQ is a mission amplifier business, the way that I'm thinking of it, meaning that we help teams align AI with their purpose. So while AI can be misused in the hands of people who want to make the world better, it can give time back. It can help people use today's best tools, prepare for tomorrow, all without losing trust or their values. Since humanity's knowledge of AI is evolving so quickly right now, and valuable use cases are individual, experimentation is essential to get the most out of these opportunities. There aren't manuals in a way. You kind of have to play with it and figure out what works. But without guardrails, using them can also leak data, mislead us, or erode trust. So let's take a look at how to avoid those pitfalls.
Okay.
What we're going to show in this quick video is how we're thinking about the main areas of risk. So there's sort of 4 main categories that matter whether you're experimenting, using AI daily, or thinking long-term. So data safety is the largest category, but there are others that are raised in frameworks like NIST or EU AI Act. These frameworks are mainly written for developers, but what we've done is translate them into guidance that works for everyday AI users like us. So when you're using some of this new accessible software, in addition to data safety, there are risks around the reliability of AI outputs in their truth and fairness. And that in turn leads to risks in maintaining your voice with your purpose and expertise and responsible stewardship of our world. So there are 3 of these in particular that are critical when experimenting with an AI system. And so we spotlight how to mitigate them today with identifying safe data, detecting hallucinations, and maintaining stakeholder trust. So as you experiment with an AI system, it quickly becomes obvious that it lacks context. I think of it as like an intern on their first day. The way to make it more useful is to give it data. And the more data for context, the better it gets. A lot of times, if somebody first starts out, they're sort of thinking, well, what's the big deal? When you start giving it more context is when it starts shining. But not all the data is safe to give to this AI intern. And one way to think about the data is a traffic light system to classify it. So red data would be like client health info or unreleased intellectual property. That's something that you would never want to put into a public AI system. Amber data would be like drafts or anonymized notes. And these can be used carefully if they're masked, if the private information is masked. Green data is things that are like already public, so already on the internet or general knowledge, and that is generally safe. So as a starting point, providing data that's already online or not a secret is enough to get a lot of very useful applications, ranging from researching topics to summarizing articles to translating languages, including one of my favorites is obscure computer errors into English. It's actually pretty good at that sometimes. The reason why safe data practices is so important and why we have it first is there are 2 main sources of risk with these systems with data. So first is that what the AI companies are storing isn't necessarily stored at the highest security compliance.
Or we don't have any way of knowing, really.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
black box model.
They're Silicon Valley companies that move fast and break things. They're not companies that you want to trust with very sensitive information. Um, so that's the one reason. The other is your data is used to train new models by default, which means that what you paste in can show up in a future user's response. And so that's why we say, always turn off training in public chats. And that, according to their policies, should eliminate that risk. Flagging hallucination. So beyond the data risk area, in the truth area is when AI output expresses high confidence, but its assumptions are like flat false. So this can be confusing and frustrating, as the image shows. The technical term is hallucination. And if you've ever tried autocomplete on your phone, you can see how this happens. AI assistants today are somewhat like an eager new intern. They are sometimes brilliant, but with no real world experience. So you wouldn't send their draft to a client without checking it, and the same goes here. And if you're not sure about an assumption in the output, then journalism's three source rule is something you can follow that would save you from a retraction, essentially. So as people begin experimenting with AI assistants to help with work, they get outputs that would have taken them significant hard work, which is part of why people are excited about the technology. But until these steps to flag hallucinations are taken, the work reflects the experience level of a book smart intern. And so this risk around whether AI output represents the whole truth leads to risk in maintaining trust when using those outputs. There could be a temptation to ship out impressive looking AI work. However, your audience doesn't know to what extent this represents your opinion or work. And trust is fragile. If AI shaped something, disclose it. Your donors, clients, and staff need transparency. And so you always want to sign off as a human and never pass raw AI output along. Yeah, the reason why sort of online people are calling it a bank is because you might have different ways to disclose different levels of assistance or for different audiences.
Yeah. So we want to know what these policies would look like in practice, or what kind of AI policies do these organizations need to start developing? So here are some examples. So stakeholder trust. We start with a policy that ensures transparency. So something that we do at the end of any of our posts online for marketing, we include something that says in the posted media file or post or in the blog post, whatever it is, we used AI for polish, not purpose. With heading off hallucinations, we might have on our AI policy, we might have specifications for conducting AI research. For example, any factual claim generated by AI must be verified against at least 2 independent reputable sources before inclusion in final outputs. We might also be able to create a resource sheet that can be pinned up at a project manager's desk. So something to the effect of the green, amber, red, just to keep something handy so that you are reminding yourself as a project manager what you can or can't include if you're doing research using an AI chatbot.